Good morning. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. I am out here on a chilly winter morning. I want to share with you some of the plants that have winter interest in the garden and structure. Winter isn't a season I've really paid a lot of attention to. In the past, I would clean the garden in autumn and fall, and then I wouldn't really come out and look at it again until bulbs started to come out of the soil in March. But I've really taken an interest in winter gardening. There's a lot of plants that we can plant in winter. Sarcococca is really nice. It's the winter blooming box, and it's very fragrant right now. And I have other plants that I want to share with you. So let's go have a look at some of the winter interest, and we'll just see what else I can find in the garden. I'm also going to share some of the projects and plans that I've got going on. All right, so let's have a look at some of the winter interests. And the very first plant I want to share is this rosemary. And it is on a little bank on the round sun bed. I have a number of garden beds that I've named, and the naming helps me to keep track of the plants. I also put all my plants on a spreadsheet, data spreadsheet on the computer. And I also have another way of sharing plants, or of taking care of my plants, but I'll share that in another video. And this rosemary is really beautiful and green, easy to grow. Rosmarinus officinalis is beautiful culinary herb with the most amazing scent. Oh, it just smells great, and it just adds that beautiful winter structure in this area. Oh, that really does smell nice. So that's one of the first winter interest plants that I have. We have not had a hard kill frost, which is not good because as the climate changes, we really want to go into winter and have winter with frosts and cold. It's good for the garden, especially the lilacs. They need to have that winter cold frost to set their buds. Okay, so let's head over this way. And I really want to share that beautiful scented Sarcococca winter box that's blooming right now. The scent is wafting on the air, and it is very, very pretty structure plant. So make our way over here. This bed is called the main bed. And in here is also a winter daphne, the odora. I have 3 in the garden. I'll show that on the way back. So we make our way over here, past the little glass house. Down here is my winter blooming box. I have 4 in the garden. It has this lovely little white flower, scented. Really good winter structure plant, probably one of the best for winter structure. And of course, right above it is the California lilac, the ceanothus, which is also a good winter structure plant. This is for a windbreak, and it blooms blue. And then when it's in bloom, the bees love this plant, and it also provides a place for the birds to go to when there's predators in the garden. And here is my last plant purchased for 2024, my lovely hellebore jasper. It's really enjoying its blue pot. I will put the pot into the glass house if I suspect there's going to be a really hard frost, but like I said earlier, we haven't had a kill frost yet, which doesn't really, it kind of bothers me, but it kind of doesn't, because I can still get work done out here as long as the ground isn't frozen. So here is the Daphne odora. There's, again, I said I have 3. The big giant one under the frost cloth in my little bed of spring blooming bulbs. The bulbs are all starting to come up, and show their tips, the daffodils. And then under here, just to protect from frost burn, is the daphne. And it too will have beautiful scent. In a couple more weeks, it'll start to bloom and take the frost cloths off probably the beginning of March. Also winter interests, I planted these 5 little hamamelis, and they have been nibbled by something, so I hope it's not a rabbit. Haven't had any rabbits in the garden yet, but something is definitely eating it, so that's why they've got little nets over them to get them established. Lots of beautiful light this morning in the garden. It's very fresh out. Right here is going to be a new path. We're going to carry on with what's called 3/4 minus gravel. But what I want to do before the gravel goes down is dig this all out, because this might have been a kitchen garden at some point, because the ground is surprisingly nice. I'm not trying to fight through all the rocks that I normally fight through. And there were worms under the weeds, because I can't call it lawn because it was primarily buttercup. But this is going to make a very nice rock path with the 3/4 minus. This is 3/4 minus gravel here. And then the other thing we have to do is we have to raise the one planter box, because this side has been undermined by the ants and now it's lower than the other side. So that's a fairly straightforward project. If we're going to be putting down a new gravel path, we might as well fix the planter box at the same time. And then while I'm standing right here in front of the glass house, I want to share that I have decided to not have a path that cuts through the garden on a diagonal across this main bed. It's just not working. I feel that it's just going to be a big bare patch in the garden and a gap. So I'm planting this back up. And I've also worked really hard to make this nice soil. And I've had to amend with truckloads of compost because there is no soil on this land. This is rocky outcrop. We're in Powell River. We are just up from Mowat Bay, and we overlook a little bit of Powell Lake. And we are lucky to have a level back garden, but definitely no soil in this area. So soil is brought in, and I am composting and making my own compost. So that is very exciting. This plant, this Troisia, is also a winter interest plant. Now, isn't that a pretty plant? I'm so tempted to take off that big side branch, but I just can't bring myself to prune it. I'm not good at pruning. I don't like to prune the plants. Look at all that beautiful, healthy, new growth. I just can't cut it off. So she's got kind of a funny little arm that sticks out, but that's part of the plant. But this is just gorgeous. So green. And it's under the eave of the blue potting shed to protect it again from heavy, heavy snowfall, if we ever get heavy snowfall. So over in this bed, now this is called the nut tree bed, or sometimes I call it the stumpery bed, because I did put a little stumpery in back there. I can't call it the forest walk bed anymore because it's not in a forest. It's actually in the sun, and it's not shady. This is sunny, full sun garden. And look at those beautiful sun coming over on the rhododendrons are all starting to bud. And this is another really nice, this is a strawberry arbutus. Look at its winter interest. I'm not sure if this is going to stay in this big giant pot. I might use this pot for the big hosta summon substance in the hosta enclosure, which I'll share in a second. And I haven't decided what to do, but I've got the strawberry arbutus all frost protected, but it is planted in a big pot just sitting in the ceramic pot, because I don't think that's going to stay there. This is a viburnum, and this one is called Rose Dawn, and it is a viburnum bodnantense. And there is its flower, gorgeous. And this plant too is very fragrant. Just smell. Beautiful. Then under here, I've got my little snowdrops are coming up. Somewhere under here. Oh, there they are. Snowdrops. That's a snowdrop right there. There they are. Snowdrops. So that's kind of nice to see. Okay, so one other plant to share. Just enjoying the light right now onto my neighbor's property. That is Anne's upper area. So let's have a turn around here. There's actually two things I want to share, and one of them is the horseshoe of my box hedge. That is definitely winter interest. I like my little box hedge. So far in Western Canada, we've not had box blight. This hedge was one of the very first things I put in, and I think it adds some nice formal structure in the garden all year round. There's the hills that overlook Mowat Bay. It's quite foggy off in the distance. It's a beautiful day today, cold. I don't think we're freezing though, we're probably about 2 degrees. All right, as we enter into the hosta enclosure, I want to share the plant that's in here. So back here is my hellebore, and it is called Solar Flare. And the hosta enclosure stays messy. Oh, look at that penstemon, beautiful. All winter long. I don't clean this up until the spring. Just leave all of the foliage and the flower stalks from the heucheras. The clematis don't get pruned until it's their proper pruning time. They're all dormant right now. They better not be sending up their shoots yet. Oh, the camellia has got winter interest. There's 2 plants in here. This is Camellia Taylor's Perfection. And I have it under the eave on this corner of the glass house. In the hosta enclosure under the eave of the potting shed, because it was over with the rhododendrons and it did not like that area. I think it was way too hot. The rhododendrons like the shade. My rhododendrons seem to be able to tolerate the sun better than the camellia did, and it has at least 5 or 6 buds, so this might be this plant's year. It really hasn't done much in the past years until I moved it last year. But here we'll end with this beautiful hellebore, Solar Flare. The Onyx Odyssey out front is not coming up yet. It doesn't bloom until February, so I'll share that one on another video. Look at this. I'm going to zoom in on Solar Flare. That is so pretty. All right, so that is winter interest. There's the flower heads of the hydrangea. So lots of things. There's so many projects for 2025. We're so excited. The main one is the fencing. We're doing a T-bar fence around the compost area. And we've got some fencing going in around between us and the chicken run garden. Us and the neighbor on the property line, we're going to fence that. And we've got the patio up here to finish, Terry's patio. This is going to be an entertaining space. This is the bricks that will go down on the patio. This is very exciting time. Really excited to get going on the garden. Off in the distance there is Powell Lake over the neighbors' houses. And here we are, my Zone 8 garden on this beautiful winter morning. And thank you for watching.